Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I want to talk about Ryan HUMISTON's worst exercises for muscle building. Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. All right, so I made a few notes. This video came across my feed, and I've been paying attention to Ryan lately because Ryan is growing rapidly. And when you see a channel growing rapidly, I really want to take a deep look at the information they're disseminating. And in this video, I'm going to try to put out some fair analysis of what he is talking about and let you guys decide. You can drop a comment down below. One thing I will say is when I dive into Ryan HUMISTON's videos, what I find is that it's pretty much my way or the highway type of thinking. And when you align a lot of what he believes and a lot of what he teaches against conventional wisdom, the wisdom that a lot of other lifters, experts in this industry talk about, stress, etc., he kind of goes against the grain and swings too far in the contraction and tension realm. And we've seen issues with this in the past in muscle building, where somebody tries to swing through their own philosophy, someone to a far end of the spectrum. And we have to be really careful with Ryan HUMISTON's videos because that is what's going to occur. A lot of people are going to follow him because of how he looks and his strong message, and they're going to get too involved with contraction and tension, and they're going to miss out. They're going to swing too far. The answer with anything in the muscle building realm usually aligns in the middle. It's not super extreme one way, it's not super extreme another way. There is a way to apply contraction and tension into lifting, but you do not want to do it on compound movements. On compound movements, you want to focus on form. And even Ryan contradicts himself a lot, and I'll talk about that a little bit. His last worst exercise is the Hex Bar Deadlift, and we'll dive into that in a little bit, but he talks about why you shouldn't do that and focus on deadlift form first. So it's kind of like, what are we doing here? Are we focusing on form, or are we focusing on trying to, feel a specific muscle group during a lift? You can't have both. So Ryan contradicts himself a little bit at times. All right, Ryan HUMISTON's worst exercises for muscle growth. One thing I don't like about the title is it's misleading. A lot of the reasons why he doesn't like an exercise has nothing to do with its impact on muscle growth. It has to do with whether he thinks it's going to increase the likelihood of injury, or you don't get the perfect contraction, or in the case of Hex Bar deadlifts, you should really work on deadlift form first. It has nothing to do with it being the worst exercise for muscle building. So let's establish that. He presents 4 exercises. Number 1 is the bench. And these are not exact quotes, but they're close enough. He says shoulders are in a less compromised position, or shoulders are in a more compromised position with the bench. And he said it doesn't happen on inclines. I want to address that point. And then he also goes, dumbbells give you a better contraction. All right, that's second point. Compound movements, you are focused on progressive overload and form. When the dumbbells get heavy, you're still focused on form. We're not focused on contraction over form. We're focused on moving the exercise. We're not trying to turn a compound movement like dumbbell benches or barbell benches or incline benches into an isolation exercise. So let's get that straight. All right, but to the first point, shoulders are in a more compromised position, doesn't happen on inclines. I got to tell you, this comment sends off a lot of red flags, talking about how the shoulders are compromised in the bench press. Do a lot of lifters have poor bench press form? Absolutely, absolutely. Is poor bench press form applied over a long period of time dangerous for the average lifter? Absolutely. There are a lot of shoulder injuries from bad bench press form, but incline bench can be even trickier because the lower you bring the bar on incline bench, the more compromised your shoulders are going to be. Incline bench, in my opinion, are less forgiving than flat barbell bench presses when it comes to shoulder health and compromising the shoulders, because you can bring your elbows back further if you're trying to touch the bar to your chest on inclines. And I would even go further in saying, if you don't understand good form on barbell bench press, you're probably not going to have good form on incline bench press, learning how to set up and brace, etc. An incline bench, because your butt is in that seat, we tend not to focus as much on tightness and having a good setup as we do on barbell bench press. So for all these reasons, I would say there's a very strong case to say that incline bench press is probably, for the average lifter, could potentially be worse. It could be harder on the shoulders because you're not getting a good setup. You tend not to focus on setup as much. And if you start to focus on bringing the bar down to your chest, there's going to be more inherent stress on your shoulders. All right, the second, and I got to mention this point as well. Ryan Humiston goes out of his way to poke fun at guys that want to bench press 315. Stop ego lifting and chase connection and contraction. You'll make more progress. You don't stop. Chasing weight on a compound movement is not inherently ego lifting. So throwing out things like this into the lifting community is rather useless, and it doesn't help anyone. All it does is position you as insecure, and you're trying to make fun of anybody that doesn't teach or believe what you do. And he goes on to say, every day someone's going to ask you how much you bench. You know what's worse than that? Ryan goes on to say, the guy ready and willing to answer that question. Ryan, generalizing, who does it help? I mean, we're intelligent, mature individuals. Generalizations like this are really silly. All right, the next exercise Ryan focuses on is alternating dumbbell curls. The worst exercise for muscle building? Far from it. So the logic Ryan uses here is that use cables instead, so you aren't alternating and getting rest. Also, cables give you constant tension. Alternating or resting is not a bad thing. Rest pause is actually a good thing for muscle building, and doing an alternating dumbbell curl actually might be better than doing two arms at the same time. I feel when I do two arms at the same time on the dumbbell curl that I tend to lean or get way too much momentum, and I feel the movement less. I tend to be able to lean a little bit to the side and get a better feel, but the issue that rest is somehow an evil when it comes to dumbbell curls is not true. We all know that rest pause is a viable way of muscle building. In fact, it's a decent way to build muscle, and that's a non-point. Third exercise Ryan doesn't like is hyperextensions. I could really care less. That's boring to me. And fourth one, the worst exercise for muscle building is the trap bar deadlift. And basically Ryan's entire argument is people use that because they don't understand good deadlift form, so they use it as a cop-out or a crutch. Go learn proper deadlift form, and then you can come to Hex Bar Deadlifts. That may or may not be the case. It's certainly the case in some situations, but that doesn't make it the worst exercise for muscle building. I would say for the average lifter that just wants a little bit of muscle, wants to take care of their lower back, that the Hex Bar Deadlift is probably an overall better option. It's more forgiving than the deadlift when it comes to learning form because you're inherently more in an upright position. So I've shared my opinion on Ryan Humiston's worst exercises for muscle building. Let's make sure to understand that just because an exercise isn't done correctly, like deadlifts or Hex Bar Deadlifts, doesn't make it the worst exercise for muscle building. I can think of a lot worse exercises for muscle building that people do in the gym. For example, front delt raises and things like that. But let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Ryan's logic in this video. And let me know what you think about his almost cult-like, strange infatuation with contraction and tension above all else. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.